All right. Good evening, Mr. Mawere. Good evening, viewers. Today's discussion is a spin-off also from the conversation that was had yesterday, live on 1873 FM with Mr. Tinashe Jonasi. So now it got people thinking now. We want to find out, is Jonasi? We just want to interrogate: is Jonasi an active citizen, a politician, or an activist? Now, this is part of a C2C initiative to build communities so that we have a shared understanding on different issues, or various issues. Now, Tinashe Jonasi, in a conversation with Mr. Mawere, says that he's a brand, but does not want to be the brand of other. Now, that is very interesting. But anyway, this conversation, I'm going to play the conversation that he had with Mr. Mawere, and then afterwards we can proceed with the discussion.
How did it go? They want to schedule an interview with me. That's how it goes. So you are already opening the door for a conversation. And I just showed you one guy who was listening yesterday, and he agreed to pay his subscription fee. So what is this subscription fee for? What we're saying is that let's be organized to track our secretariat, and we have our own channel where it's not owned by an individual but owned by the community, so that we have a secure conversation that we can have. And sometimes when I'm looking for a doctor, I don't know where to go. When I'm looking for interpretation of the judgment on Mutetwa, I don't know. And who can interpret? So you can have a show, and then people will subscribe to that, so that you get revenue out of it. Otherwise, you end up on this social media a day in, day out, but nobody's monetizing on that. That's why I introduced diaspora. There's a lot you can do wherever you are. If you put $30 per year, then we can create a platform where the money received is also paid to you as the presenter, because you're already at work. You can't sit there for 2 hours and nobody pays. So but people don't know that. Because our conversations are focused on talking about things we can't change. But we can take this guy, the conversation of yesterday. This is what one person did. When I asked him, do you have any problem in paying? What did he say? He said, no problem. And he sent a message and said, I've already paid. I sent him the link. He has already paid. So if that positive attitude is not part of our show, why should we worry about those who say, if I pay, what do I get? When the same people pay for government taxes, they never ask, what do they get? They're all barking like dogs. Yeah. Yes. So we come from one crisis after another, but there's nothing positive we're talking about. Even what you were saying, do we need to limit the conversations to elites, enlightened people like Tinashe, Jonasi, or we need Jesus to speak his mind. Once he's dead, we speak our mind. But using Jesus as a reference, using Tinashe as a reference. The only difference is Tinashe is in the studio, watching whether his message is singing or it's water that goes to the Indian Ocean. Yes. I see. Because you can't keep on repeating yourself. Yes. Otherwise, then we are just abusing you. Yes. Yeah. No. All is well then. So what do you think? Of what exactly? No, I'm saying is if we have shows that allow these people, you remember we talked about identity. What is identity according to Tinashe? What is identity politics? Not identity. Okay. According to Tinashe. Then you give your summary. Then we open it up and we close it. Okay, no. I don't know. Okay. Maybe I said, of course, the way you run shows, obviously, yes, the host you choose. But I just said myself, when there's a lot of people, a team, and what, some of the people, they don't know what is to engage. They tend to insult. So, I mean, in a show, in the first minute or 5 minutes, I'm already insulted. Because it makes me experience to enjoy the show. But yesterday, if we talk about yesterday, it's not another show. Because I thought you handled yourself very well from start to the end. No, I know, but I'm saying I'm not happy to be in a show that the professionals, amateurs, anyone. It's good. Those people, they get a platform to talk. But personally, I don't want to be in that space. I might be talking from my own experience in politics, and someone is not a politician, and isn't saying I'm not a politician. Someone is just talking from an opinion, is just saying this. So, how would you want it to be handled? You would want a one-on-one. Well, you know what? Let me be honest. It's like if it's from Jamaica or ET, they don't just go to platforms. They are not easy to bring to platforms. Why? Because of whenever they are available, sometimes people they tend to abuse that availability. So at the end of the day, ED and the Jamaica become not easy to get. Because the problem with the people is that they use the personal attacks, they use what on a platform. So yet you come to the platform because you are in a good mood and you want to laugh, you want to have fun with the other brothers, everyone. But then people start saying, Tinashe is not normal. Tinashe, we know him, he's insane. They said that in 5 minutes at the beginning of the show. Already I'm a human being. No matter I won't insult anyone or whatever, but I'm already dejected. Okay. So you get my point. I'm accepting your point. Let's say we wanted to build a community around an issue. Let's say we start with the way you crafted it yesterday. And Mr. Mawere, I want to be honest with you. You know what? I'm already a brand in Zimbabwe. Whether people they like me or they don't, but I'm a brand already. So I wouldn't want to be on a platform where issues are rising there and of discussion and they're not aware of them anymore. For example, when you started asking some words you were asking us to define, I ended up saying I don't know the way. Because fail in their I mean, I need to know what is the topic of discussion and research so that my contribution also I make value. But if I go to a show where they are talking about a certain recipe and they are not aware of the recipe, I become a panelist who is equally a OG. I've understood you. In fact, that's a valid point, and it's a conversation on its own. That how many of us expect leaders to know everything, and trying to say is that if you are building a community and you know that you want to bring 10 people or 5 people, I'm not against that. But I don't want to be part of that because I don't want to just be surrounded by people. Some are in politics, some are not. If the idea is to build a community, it's fine, you can build the community. Because I'm already part of conversations in Zimbabwe. I'm already. My point was in the same thing, we all have expectations of what leaders should be like and what they should know. And there is one lesson I've learned that I'm just a human being. And even if you say, okay, Mr. Mawere, I think we're not going somewhere. I think maybe we're not understanding each other. I am simply saying in short, I want structured interviews. That's what I want. Because that's what I've already understood you. That's what I'm saying. You're sure because its objective is to build a community. I understand that it must be inclusive. But now, it's inclusivity, then it won't accommodate me because someone who would not ask me, someone who would say, Tinashe, he didn't drink this table. I don't know. That's what I've already helped you. Why would I take myself to a platform where people start discussing if I'm insane or I'm insane? All right. You know, and then I ask those people in the first 3 minutes, how do you define insanity? And how do you measure? What is the standard measure? Already that interview is already put in a space that I would enjoy. I want people who put across questions, who put across ideas, and then we discuss. And I'm not saying people must sing me and sing my praises. No. Only in discussion, anything can contradict me. The person can argue my opinion. That's a discussion. But when someone says, Tinashe, you are not normal, then it defeats why I'm on the show. Already, I don't need to be on the show because I'm not normal. Some people might not even take my contribution because my belief is not normal. Okay, now I hear your point. But if someone says, Tinashe, you are MDC, Tinashe, you are SANU-PF, Tinashe, you are Ipotsi, that is a point put forward. And I need to answer that. I'm not offended by that. All right. No, I get you.
All right. We were listening to a conversation that Mr. Tinashe Jonasi had earlier today with Mr. Mawere. Now, a lot of issues have been raised in that conversation that we think need to be further interrogated or maybe understanding. Is the C2C initiative, we seek to build communities so that we have a shared understanding on issues. In this case, we want to interrogate the issue about Mr. Jonasi claims that he's a brand, but he also says that he doesn't want to be the brand of others. Does this mean that he's not equal to other people? Is that the Zimbabwe you want or we want, where someone gets a brand out of people, or someone then says, these are my people, because I'm a brand, these are my people? Is that so? These are some of the issues. What is your take? Welcome, Mr. Mawere, to the show.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, is it just you on the show? All right, it's fine. But what is your opinion on this one, Mr. Mawere?
Yeah, you're right. He raised a number of issues. One, whether people should belong to a community and whether they should pay. And the second is the format of yesterday's show. There were questions that were raised that he was not prepared for. He would prefer to come to a show where he knows the script, he knows what questions to answer. Then he is also raising the issue of the participants, that there were many participants, and therefore the questions that needed to be addressed by him could not be given justice to.
Mm.
So he would rather have a smaller group of people who come to the show, and he would prefer to come to a show where he knows exactly what he has to be asked, and he can then prepare to answer so that he doesn't appear not to know the subject that he has been brought to shed light on.
Mm.
Then he is also raising issues around the whole, enterprise, where some of the questions were actually below what he would consider to be relevant questions. And we have also the issue of standing, that he believes that he is a politician first. And then as a politician, he would rather deal with his brand as a politician, not as a human being. So he would prefer to engage with people who are in the same profession or in the same enterprise.
Mm.
So that's my reading from what he is saying.
Mm.
He didn't say he's more equal than others, but he's saying that there's a special place for human beings who are politicians to be able to inform, educate people on certain issues. Those issues were not dealt with yesterday because of the number of people, and you think you are going forward, then you discover that another point is raised out of context of what the show was meant to achieve.
Mm.
So that is important to recognize and accept or acknowledge as an objective assessment of his own experience. So we can't say the show was good when he himself felt he was ambushed and he could not rise above others to present his own case on why he is different and why he is a politician first.
Mm.
So that's the context in which I understood him to be coming
Mm.
from.
I can't see the name of our other guest there. I can't see what is
There's
the name.
Wildfire and
Oh, Wildfire.
Divine.
Wildfire, good day, Wildfire. Good evening.
Yeah, how's it?
Good. What is your understanding of Mr. Jonasi's
How are you?
teleconversation with Mr. Mawere earlier today? If you managed to listen to it.
So I was actually privy to have been partly in the conversation in the morning, and he raised the issue of organization, preparedness, where he was saying he was not able to answer some of the questions because he was sort of getting distracted by a lot of people that were coming in, but also bearing in mind that this is a live broadcast. And at times you take questions as they come. So do you select which questions are being asked by the viewers to say, okay, these ones I choose to present to Jonasi, or I just present the questions as they come, which is a valid point to say, if I'm to come into a show and I'm talking about let's say exhibit A, do I see it through, or by the end of the show, I'm already lost as well as a guest to that show as to what is it exactly that was the intention of the show? What did I get out? Did I really tackle the issues that I was invited onto the show to tackle? So it's a catch-22 situation with live programming. If it's pre-recorded, it's another issue. But then when it's a live conversation that is going on, every person has to be prepared that the show might take a certain direction, but it always has to come back to what its intention is. So I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, he has to understand that with live TV or with live conversations that have people, you are bound to get people that will ask you questions that you're not prepared to answer.
All right. Thank you, Wildfire. Welcome, Divine. Did
No,
you listen
Divine
to
is stepped out. He's not back yet.
Oh, he's not
So
back yet. Okay. No,
he's not
it
back
goes on.
yet. I think he is now coming into the show. Okay, now we have Mr. Divine Mapa. Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Long time.
I have an issue with the signal. I might have to do a call via WhatsApp if you don't mind.
All right, no problem. But people wanted to check whether you are here in person. Wanted to see you.
If I can get a phone call, then I'll be
no problem. You can come on the phone. You can make up. You can come on WhatsApp call.
Yeah, maybe it could be better there. All right. While Mr. Mafa is trying to get through to he's back there. Mr. Divine, can you hear us?
So he's gone. So let's see whether you call.
All right. I picked up an issue. I picked up an issue on leadership from Mr. Mawere's conversation with Mr. Jonasi. So now, is it okay for a leader to admit that they don't know, or do we expect, or do people expect leaders to know everything? Mr. Mawere, what do you think?
Yeah, it can come from the individual that there is no shared understanding as to what a leader is and is not. You may have noted even from Mr. Jonasi that he believes he is a brand, and therefore his brand is politics. And he is expected by his followers, by his supporters, to be enlightened. Because people look up to something, they expect their leaders to know more than what they as followers know. So that's a bigger issue as to what a leader is and is not. So I think we will need to have a discussion on that issue which he raised, because there are many people who get into politics, then they become politicians. There are many people who go into medicine, they become doctors. There are people who go to college to learn about teaching methods, practices, and they acquire certificates. And they assume the identity of that certificate. There are people who are called lawyers, priests, pastors, apostles. They carry that title. There are people who are called presidents. They start behaving as if there's a president, unlike the other professions where there are rules and standards. But politicians will discover that there are no rules and standards, where somebody can wake up and say, I am a politician, and this is what it takes to be like me. But absent that, there are many people who appropriate the title to themselves and think that the following they get, or the people who are listening to them, actually are their supporters, or they belong to them. So that is not unusual in the world of discrimination, in the world of status, in the world of classes, that I come into a conversation. I don't want to be belittled by Nobody's. I want to rise and shine as a politician because all I have is to sell is my vision, my ideas. So if people see me wanting on one issue, then I lose my brand unnecessarily. So you want to expose me, but I want my voters to always think that I'm invincible and I am indispensable. So without me, they can't solve their problems. So there are many people who are in politics just merely to keep their so-called followers guessing and thinking that the leader is actually working for their interest. So being embarrassed is not a good thing for brand building. So when I'm asked, are you sleeping? Then I take issue with that. Because how can a leader be sleeping? How can an emperor be sleeping while the meeting is on? Even if he's tired, he has to show face and pretend that he's not tired. You remember, even in the last days of Mugabe, he would sleep, maybe without snoring, but he would sleep throughout the meeting. And it was very difficult to go to him and say, President, are you sleeping? He may turn around and say, who told you I'm sleeping? I'm just thinking about what I'm going to say. But you can see the president is sleeping. But it's a bad job for you to go and tell the emperor that he's naked. The moment people know that the emperor is naked and they accept he's naked, what is he supposed to do? He's supposed to run away naked. Can you imagine an emperor running away from his subjects naked? Then tomorrow he can't be emperor anymore. So the emperor has to stand tall and say, today I am just nude by choice. And who the hell do you think you are to tell me I'm naked when I made a choice to be nude because I don't like the clothes?
So,
Let me hear Mr. Papa. Hello?
Jonasi, yep.
Hey, Mawere, okay.
Yeah, now you are clear.
Okay.
Somehow, that system that you use doesn't seem to benefit the United States for some reason. I'm being biased, I guess. Because I've always had a hard time with it. How is everybody?
Everybody's okay. I got Wildfire. I got Wellington. Wellington says, thank you. You are a man of your word. You said you are going to join. And you joined and you paid your dues. The other people who argue and ask, why should I pay? And first, how was your experience in paying? Did you check out correctly? And
well, it was the link. I just filled out my name and just went through it.
So was it an easy experience?
But it should also accept very easy, but it can be improved.
All right.
Even easier. Yeah.
So I think that's where Yende comes in to make it easier, so that the processes are easier and the customer experience is pleasant.
Yes.
So welcome to the C2C, and all we are saying is let's build communities. And I know somebody says Yende is here, and some people have issues with you, the person, and the investment, and maybe we can give you an opportunity to speak to what are people saying in these WhatsApp groups, and are you satisfied that the person that they're describing is you, or they've invented somebody called you?
No, there is a vendetta, and it's almost also say that if I look at the thought, it seems to connect also also in a political affiliation. I'm a non-MDC member. But if you see the attacks, I hate to say they are ZANU-PF outfits. I hate to say that, but that's really true. And these people have been my friends also, and I never chose friends because of party affiliation, because I live in America. And in the past year, after COVID started, I realized that Zimbabweans do not have investment portfolios. Zimbabweans are not able to retire when they grow old. Zimbabweans were not able to have medical care. I have an uncle of mine who is 80 years old. And let me tell you, he has esophageal cancer. And I have to fly to South Africa for treatment. Many Zimbabweans cannot do that. He has children, but they can't afford it. I have to come in and do the main job. And it is not fair to me when this opportunity is available for a little Coca-Cola, if you can invest that every day. You see, people in Zimbabwe don't know about investment, so they fear what they don't know. They see the numbers, the graphs, they fear what they don't know. And so if you don't know something, you start to attack it. And if you look at the people who attack me, those are people who are my friends who are sort of acting as if they know the story. They don't even know the story. Nothing. Nothing about it. They're just talking and just trying to slander. Just because the time has come to collect. I'm about to implement these programs, and suddenly the attacks are coming. Right now, with a cryptocurrency that's going to be established to help Zimbabwe. So all these things are just so many people. They want how can one person that?
Okay. Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, okay, so let's go step by step, and got Wellington in the studio and Wildfire. Guys, do you have any questions for Mr. Mafa?
No, so far just following what he's saying, and yeah, let him continue, and then we'll take it from there.
I think it will be easier if we just hear what he's saying, and then maybe we can.
He has already said enough as a preamble. And if we look at community building,
yes,
do you agree, Mr. Mafa, that the WhatsApp groups, if they are indications of what Zimbabwe is all about, then there is a serious problem among us, not as to who is in government and who is not.
Right.
Do you believe that there is a problem?
You asked me a question, right?
Yeah.
I truly believe that there is a problem, one, of association. Like, if you look at party people in ZANU-PF, they all really get so close, right? And I was told that you never become friends with people in ZANU-PF, they'll destroy you one day. But you see, I'm in America, right? So, but then you also that they have their own functions, they hold their own functions. Then you see that in MDC as well. So there is these groups of people who have alliances, and they don't have a good alliance like we have, which is community to serve, you know. So I guess everybody's saying they're serving in their own way. But that's what we're experiencing in this group. There's a lot of fight.
So do you find that the fights are informed by facts, or the fights are informed by agendas driven by distortions, falsehoods, and fiction, or what is your take?
I truly believe that the fights have been propagated by vindictiveness, number one, that we are going to victim, and number two, we're going to expose this, and also anyone can start to say, accuse the person, and they keep repeating it. And at the end of the day, after repeating it, people will start to talk about it. Yet the facts, when you start to ask the person, who did he kill? They don't know. They will start to give you excuses, and they keep repeating it. It's something that Zimbabweans do very naturally. Then Hitler's book, the book of destruction and strategy. Nobody, and that's what happens in Zimbabwe. They will just repeat a rumor so fast that they are looking for entertainment, maybe. They're not busy. I don't know, maybe they spend too much time on social media. But some of us are able to be on social media whilst we are working at the same time, because we understand the use of social media. We never used to have a phone 10, 20 years ago. We couldn't do videos, and we had to write letters home. So it's important to use these tools properly, but what we have now is using the tools to destroy people. I mean, I was actually being told about this seed to seed, and Mawere is just trying to steal money. It's the same person. And now he's using Zone 2 Energy Company and told Zone 2 Energy that they shouldn't even work with Mawere, this and that. So it's the same person. But that's the same person who calls you to then say things about me, acting as if everything is okay. There's this mentality of people with a destroyed mindset of not being able to construct. Imagine if my voice is silent from diaspora. Imagine if your voice is silent and we just decide to disappear. And what about the space we live in here? I live in Memphis. And what about Memphis? I have a lot of things to do. I have friends and family just as much. And I have to do double the work. I have to wake up in the middle of the night to talk to people. It's a lot of effort to serve your country. Do I do this for me? Really? I can stay here and I have a 20-bedroom house here in America. I do this for my love, for my country, for my people, because I find there is a time that's going to happen. A lot of these guys are going to retire with these things. They're going to have a hard time. But when you see what they put on social media, it's bad. It's destroying a character for no reason, just for the heck of it, because there are no consequences. There's no legal system where you can actually sue. Even if you sue, you don't get anything. So that's why you end up seeing people taking the law into their videos. I mean, it's really that bad. So I just hope this program can help.
Yeah, and we have a comment. We have a comment. I'm lost. Maybe it's because I'm losing connection here and there. How are you tying Tinashe Jonasi to Divine Mafa? We are tying the two because we are talking about identity activists and citizenship and identity politics, because your identity can easily be invented by others. It can be created by you. And we are talking about how the public out there is open for business when it comes to information dissemination. You are not going to know what is fact, right, what is fiction. And somebody calls himself politician. Is it a lie that a human being becomes a politician? You may discover that there are people who take themselves seriously. Oh. And there are people who can import motives into whatever you say. Oh. If you have an initiative that you are doing, then others will see danger in it. And when you ask them, do you know this person? And whatever they are doing is in the future. So if you have known them in the past, why is it that you want to use the past to define what happens? If the person is a criminal, let it be handled by law enforcement officers, but treat everybody equally. If he's free in Memphis, then he's free in Memphis. It's not my business to be able to say this man is this man is that. So how do we build communities where values are understood, where a person standing, his private affairs are his private affairs? So my ears will refuse to hear what I don't have to hear. And then my time will be used just to focus on going ahead, because what they say about somebody else is exactly what they say about you when you are not listening. So you find a lot of these things that are said behind your back, in front of you, and you become part of that gossip. So how do we limit it? We limit it by building communities so that we can know what is the minimum acceptable way to relate to each other. That I can't sit as a judge on matters that fall outside my knowledge or interest. And the moment I start becoming a judge, I'm already becoming a problem to the facts of the matter. So that is the principle upon which C2C is founded. That I can listen, but there's nothing I can do to substitute what civilization is allowed to be placed between the accuser and the accused. A politician is an advocate for a certain cause. Carrington says, to be a politician, to become a voice and representative for a certain group representing a certain cause. So Carrington, just be careful that a human being remains a person of flesh, a person of sin, and representing you is not substituting you. There are many people think that I can substitute Divine Mafa, that because of association, automatically you must know what is in his mind. There is no politician who can claim to invade someone else's mind. Please accept that, Carrington. That's why we bring Divine Mafa here to speak for himself in his own voice. If there are issues related to Divine, whether he's a politician or not, there is a human being called Divine Mafa, Tinashe Jonasi. That is the person that we need to talk to. And this is just a platform for the two voices to meet each other. But I can't advocate for a certain cause. I have to be the cause, I have an interest. So Mr. Mafa is here. He's interested in being part of a community where facts are not substituted by fiction, where what he knows to be fact must also be registered as fact, so that those people who go to WhatsApp groups to argue, to present alternatives, if you are an injured party and someone steps on your toe, please, by all means, cry if you must, complain if you must, but don't cry on behalf of somebody else. And you call yourself a politician. Don't be hungry on behalf of somebody else. Then you call yourself a politician. Don't be thirsty on behalf of somebody else, and you call yourself politician. That is wrong. Serve the people who give you the right to call yourself something that you didn't qualify to be. So we have a lot of people in WhatsApp groups who become judgmental. They want you to explain your version when they don't have standing to ask for an explanation. They don't have jurisdiction to talk about somebody else, but they want to be the judge, jury, and executioner. So as we talk about building communities, let us be restrained in terms of judgments. And let us not be the judges of matters that are fact-based, because the facts require two parties to present them. Good evening, Mr. Laxon. We have a new member called Divine Mafa. He joined because he believes he's got a story that he needs to be told, And yesterday we have Mr. Jonasi, who was with us. And you may have been on the show, and I don't know how much of it you followed yesterday, Mr. Chuai. Did you follow it?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Mawere. Good evening, everyone on the platform. Yes, I did, though there was a breakdown here and there, but I did follow.
How did you find the show?
You know, and now I'm appreciating what CTC is doing, because you see, it's bringing people together. And I hope that can be the spirit in Zimbabweans or in human beings as a whole. All of us, if that spirit can come in, I believe we can have the future.
Are you happy? Are you happy you are a member?
Yes, I think it's paying dividends. Now you see, it's bringing me close to you, bringing me close to Mr. Jonas, to everyone else, even if we are in different places.
Okay, Carrington says we'll listen to the discussion and take in your viewpoint. I strongly differ with you, guys, but information is power. So it's good that Carrington differs, because we need a festival of ideas. We need a battle of ideas, even a rebellion of ideas. And we want to encourage Carrington to state in specific terms where the differences are. Carrington believes a politician is an advocate. So if a politician is an advocate, what makes the people who are told they are followers? They become midgets or what? Puppets or robots, or what should they become?
Sorry, Ms. Mawere, does he have a teachable spirit? Because at the end of the day, people who can be better are people who want to learn, who has a teachable spirit. So,
but he's saying that I know what I know, and what I know is the universe of what is to be known. Don't tell me that a politician does not exist. I don't know whether Wellington, you hear what Carrington is saying.
Yes, Carrington is not far. His views are not too different from those of Mr. Jonasi, where he says, "I know what I know, and no one is going to change." There is nothing wrong with that. Being part of a community means that diversity is acknowledged, and diversity is tolerated. We are all different. We all think differently. There's nothing wrong, but information remains powerful, as he says.
So you can negotiate with people in their private times, quietness of their time. They may be persuaded to review their positions, and that's what I hear Carrington to be saying. I will listen, but I differ, and that's the start of a negotiation.
But like I'm saying, Mr. Mawere, you see, yesterday I raised the point that I couldn't finish when I was saying it depends with how the person was brought up. So in Shona we have a saying which says, "Ndamba kuudzwa unoonekwa nembonje paahuma." If a person says what I know is right, then that it's a problem on its own. If you cannot be told something and you buy it, then you have a problem.
But you can also be persuaded to change your viewpoint.
Yes.
But the moment you force people, then it's unjust, it's unfair, it's unconstitutional.
Yes, sir.
People are entitled to be wrong, and it's only for you to speak to what you know to be fact.
Yes.
And challenge them to change. So as we wind up, Mr. Mafa, what is your take? You have been in and out.
Before Mr. Mafa comments, Mr. Mawere.
Okay, just hold on for Wellington. He wants to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say something that Mr. Mafa actually to comment on what Mr. Mafa said. There's the issue there that he said the behavior of people say on social media. Does it represent what Zimbabweans expect or what Zimbabweans are? Now, the issue of the truth, I think one's reputation and dignity is dependent on truth. So imagine someone misrepresents the truth or about something. It will have far-reaching consequences on people and a lot of things. Now, people must be careful what they say, and people so that we don't take supposed fact as fact without interrogating it. So whatever people say afterwards borders on either slander or smear or anything, and people must understand that we should be careful about what we claim as truth or fact. That's what I just wanted to comment on what Mr. Mafa had said there.
So, Mr. Mafa, can you give us your final point?
My final point is that people should try to be open-minded, and in any case, they should always stick to the source. Otherwise, there is no relevance in any issue. You can't hear so this and that, right? And then you believe it. And that's just not right. You have to give yourself an opportunity to verify if it's true. And also, I think people have seen what I'm doing. The it's personal, but the EFC, I don't know. They still, what I'm doing. I don't know what else is. It's Wellington. You've seen the videos, all right? You've seen how much money, even when I'm trading, I don't trade just to squash the rumor on a personal note. You saw how much money I've been making on trade. Sometimes I could bring $100,000 in a single trade. This is reality many people don't understand. If you work a job 9 to 5, or if you don't have one, making very little, it is very hard. So some people can't understand it when they see that it happened. They think it may be fiction. They start to make rumors. What I'm doing is to help with an investment club that can make people retire. I know there are these investment clubs in South Africa that are policy. It has really damaged the pure reputation of helping the real people who need help as well. And then the rumors happen. So it is very counterproductive to have that many rumors in a country. You hear rumors even about Wenga trying to kill Mnangagwa. People don't know. They just speak about what they think, and one person starts a rumor and it goes on. And you don't know the relationship between people. So these are very counterproductive, and people who wait think it's becoming double forever because Mnangagwa and President Mnangagwa and Chiwenga might be in very good books. We don't know unless you ask. So those are the things we are facing. And I just also want to speak on behalf of the case. We're going to be releasing a cryptocurrency application to allow people to trade and buy in Zimbabwe, to save money, to borrow money. Those things are business platforms that we are creating for our people. As I said before, I could choose to stay here in America. There are many opportunities. Everything I'm trying to do in Zimbabwe, I can do it here and make profit fast without even any problem. The money I'm making it here in America. There's not a single day I can make $10,000 if I want. I want to transfer that knowledge to Zimbabwe. And imagine somebody who doesn't understand that knowledge would then go around speaking rumors and take away opportunity from others who would benefit and make and skeptical and afraid, and time is moving. The stock market prices are going to be skyrocketing very fast because it's a recession. You buy them now, in 3 months, it will be surprising. You could find yourself a millionaire. I say these things, it sounds like a joke, but these are real, true things. And you can't know until you get to speak to me and experience it than to hear from a rumor. That is what I wanted to say in conclusion.
All right. And Mr. Chuai?
Well, I like what this gentleman is saying, and there is a problem of people who, out of hate, might have heard something, and when they are saying it to their audience, they amplify that thing. This is, I can tell you a story what happened in July last year. There's a guy from Botswana. He heard about mining opportunities in Zimbabwe. So he asked me to go with him. He didn't know anything about Zimbabwe, but he was told that you can't invest in Zimbabwe. It's a very bad place. This is amplified information. So I went with him. When we went, he actually asked me, Laxon, are you sure we are in Zimbabwe? Because we had a meeting at Sem Levy with some other guys there. He asked me, are you sure this is Zimbabwe? Yes, this is Zimbabwe. And he said, I was expecting to see skeletons, people walking, bones walking on the street. So it's very bad. When people don't have the truth, they go to the media and say things that are not right. It's not good for us. It's not good for our country. So I don't know how we can reach as many people as possible so that they can also learn from platforms like this to say, if you get information, please get the source of it and have true facts. I think that's all I can say.
All right. And
just to add, what can you do anyway? If you're asking, are you going to contribute something? What is your knowledge going to give you? You know, sometimes somebody harassing you might not even have 2 cents to invest. Apana case, you know. So it's like sometimes you never know who is on the other side. It could be somebody bedbound, just having nothing else to do. You know, just going on Twitter or Facebook, harassing people, and the person can't even leave the house to be doing any meaningful work. I don't know bad people. So sometimes I like to go behind the numbers and see who's making allegations and ask questions. We get to know each other, and then I get to know what is the use of this person in the society. Are they productive at all in the first place, or they just noise maker like the photo parents? So I have to mention it by name because he's mentioning things by name on social media, and so that's the issue.
So what we'll do is we'll have a live show with Chipo and hear what she has to say so that people can judge for themselves.
Yes.
She's a lunatic. That's all I can say.
Yeah, but don't worry about a lunatic in a community unless she has been condemned to be in the place of.
You know why I would say that? I worked in a psychiatric institute. I know I want to qualify why I say that. When I say something, it's factual.
No, I'm saying is let the public judge because it's in the public domain. Because if you now become a judge unto your own case, so let's hear her voice and let's come out so that we deal with these ghosts and then move forward. And Carrington says, do you have a website where I can get more information about the cryptocurrency blockchain?
Yes, we do have. It's called handecash.com, but it's by next week it will be
Crypto. So it's Handecash. One word.
But it will be Crypto. Yes, Handecash. One word. Handecash.com.
.com. So
now, right now.
Yeah, then Janet says, Divine, welcome to the community. I hope you are going to offer training to the community of C2C on cryptocurrencies and what this entails so that people are more informed.
Right. That is my expertise. I actually took a course in blockchain development. So it's almost, I took a course in programming. It's quite exciting that these things, I've done them in a very short space of time during COVID, and anyone could have done it. So which means now I can be part of a blockchain development community. We can even decentralize voting and make it more efficient by using blockchain technology. We can count plants, we can do all these things. It is amazing technology. These are things we should be teaching each other. And most people are spending their COVID time gossiping when we could be doing this.
Okay, so that's then Stanley says, Tawazi, why didn't you go with your purported investor, Tumbari, so that they can see the other side of the coin?
That's a question for the gentleman who brought in.
Yeah, that's for Laxon.
Well, if I'm to ask, is Mbare Zimbabwe?
No, he's saying that, Mr. Laxon, just be careful on what you say about Zimbabwe, because there are people who are living in hell in Zimbabwe, and there are people who are living in heaven in Zimbabwe.
In the same
So
country.
there are too many versions of Zimbabwe that need not be summarized in the sense that everything is okay. I think that is the point he's making.
Right.
Yeah. Hello?
So let's not generalize. I think the point he's making. If I have specific experiences, let me talk to them. And but Stanley says the reality of Zimbabwe is more complex than what people say. It's not propaganda that things are hard. It's reality. And that reality is, some of it is self-caused, some of it is by divine providence, but we don't know. So all he's saying is, let's slow down, let's create a community where shared experiences are celebrated.
I don't dispute that, Mr. Mawere, but my point is, when things are said in an amplified way, then to a foreigner, it becomes something that is not bearable. So what I was trying to say as well is, at least we mustn't say much bad. Even, you know, like I was saying yesterday, when things happen in the house, it's not me from the same house who goes on the street and say, this is what is happening in the house.
No, I hear you. I think all he's saying is that it's not an exaggeration that things in Zimbabwe, for the majority of the people, are not okay. Unemployment is at its highest. Some people put it 95%. So 95 cents in a dollar is on the other side. And there are concerns about the rule of law, there are concerns about constitutionalism. These are real. So he's saying, let us slow down, but be balanced, and approach Zimbabwe with many lenses so that we can all focus on what needs to change to make Zimbabwe great.
Yeah, but remember what I'm saying. When I went there, he had an appointment with people. So it's not me who said those words. It's someone who was there in Zimbabwe for the first time. And we didn't fly, we were driving.
No, I think he made the appointment, or he's saying that had you taken him to other areas, the dark sides of the same city, you may discover that same Levy village is not the same as Mbari.
Yes, even before it was just like that. So you can't say then, should we tell people that this place, you can't live in it?
No, he's saying that let's be balanced and let's tell the full story so that when you say Zimbabwe is okay, you have used many eyes, not yours only. All he's saying is not for you only. He's just saying for us, let us be mindful that there's a rough side and there's a smooth side.
Okay, I will take that, yes.
Yeah. So I think that's all we have for today. And when you have a man of Mr. Chiwai's stature saying, I'll take that, there are countries where people will not take that. They will say an eye for an eye. What are you trying to say about our beautiful Zimbabwe? Who the hell are you to say Zimbabwe is a bad place to invest? Just accept what we tell you. And others will say, I'll take it. I have learned something from Stanley. And that's part of the conversation that we are not having, where it's a give and take. A reality is what you put in. You may discover that what you think is real is just fiction. And you may be informed by fiction to make judgments about somebody. And you look at that person negatively because of what other people would want you to know of the facts that they have in their minds. Not the facts that are real, but the facts that are invented for the sole purpose of diverting attention, distorting reality, so that they can have the last laugh because of things that occur outside the dispute that is in question, but based on what they would want the dispute to be. And Stanley said, thank you, Mr. Mawere, for the educative show. Thank you, Stanley. That's all we're trying to do. Mr. Chiwai, Mr. Mafa, they are all here to be able to put their voices into how opinions can be shaped. Characters, personalities can be massacred, sometimes with facts that are self-serving. And then the facts that are real never find expression because those that are not real are the ones that are in front. So let's deal with facts. Let's try to be platforms for alternative dispute resolutions so that we don't stick to what we know. Let's have two sides to a coin, and it will be complete coin with two sides. But one side always has a problem because you can believe that side only to turn to the other side and discover that everything you have understood is not supported by the facts on the other side. So thank you very much, Mr. Mafa. I hear you. Are you okay with that?
No, that's wonderful. And also just to say, your voice can disappear. Mine can disappear. We're diaspora. I know a lot of Zimbabweans that would never, ever participate in anything home. They live their quiet lives today in Memphis, and they are very well. And they hear things like this. They always say it's drama that comes to home is stressful. I had people in Zimbabwe calling my job, plotting to out that paper, calling my job relentless, calling my job, calling non-stop until I think you should leave. Because these people in Zimbabwe are harassing us. Wherever they got my number, I don't know. I was a contractor making over $250,000 a year. Now, now I make $10,000 plus a day sometimes. So you want to help people, you never know what happens. You end up blessing somebody. I started doing stock investment and money management, and it's a blessing. So I like to say that we want to encourage voices. before and Theocratia, they were part of the too. And they are the same one now peddling these lies that in the case, in the digital case, and the platform, yet they can't produce a single person who is going to say, Atakamirwa Mari, when I'm not produced, akatobatsirwa aritokuwereka mari kwandiri ari kutoda 53,000. So these are things. So I don't want Zimbabwean voices that are in diaspora to be quiet because of gossip, because of character assassination, because that's what's going to happen, and then nobody's going to really help with ideas. You know, we are there to ignite ideas, like Mr. Mawere says all the time. We are there to teach, to educate, to help each other to succeed, but not to run away each other. Because really, I could just put everything down. Later, my quiet life. We end up Nana Niagara Falls, Nana Nana Florida Beach. Very person in the Tinashe for Dega. The Varungu Variguno, the one Variguno is lucky because of the Tiga, that's not Tiga. And not worry about a single thing happening in Zimbabwe. Because Latinga, they map poor. Because nobody wants their names and their characters assassinated when it's not true. It hurts, especially when you're putting an effort to help your countrymen so that they can have something. You know, there's nothing wrong with having investments. If you don't understand, let's teach you so you can learn. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Jonasi teaching what he's teaching. Let him teach and appreciate. He lives in South Africa. Well, imagine if he doesn't speak. You would not have been conscientized about what he was stating. People are busy acting on social media. They are not acting on the streets. It's a fact. And so then they start rumors.
No, I thought that one we've covered. Let's have the two protagonists. You are the principal. You are part of the facts. Let's get Chipo and the other doctor so that we all have an understanding, because sometimes you build communities that unnecessary rumors, gossips, which don't advance, because there are always two sides to a story.
Right.
Let the sides be told, because I don't think Wellington and Mr. Chuhai know the true facts, and my ears are too small to hear all the confessions and all the accusations. But let those who have accusations, and Wellington, that's part of community building. Let's get the people who don't talk to each other to talk to each other, so that we can find what is fact, what is fiction. And those without facts who disappear, will evaporate, they will start talking in third-party terms. And those who are not injured, those who are not hungry, I can't eat on behalf of anybody else. If I am party to a transaction, I know what my remedies are. I will pursue them. But then if you go to social media, then you must know there's something missing in the story. So let's get deeper to the story. It will take us to where the facts are and where the fiction is.
Right.
So thank you very much.